Saturday, December 20th, 2025, part 1 of 1. Morning with E, F, and G. Breakfast was French toast. G made it, and I gave him a quick tutorial along the way. After breakfast, the kids watched about half of White Christmas. We headed out to Costco. I wanted to pick up protein powder to mix into our milk. There was a 20% coupon, that's my estimate, which is a big deal because that stuff's expensive and the sales are not often. They do last a while too. Buy in bulk. We also needed beef for the beef barley soup if I picked out for lunch or early dinner. At Costco, the kids sampled their way through the store. I tested an office chair, gaming themed, like they all seem to be these days. I couldn't figure it out how to make it stop reclining. As I struggled with it, my mother, a mother, and her mother, or grandmother presumably, were nearby watching. They asked how high it went. I showed them, not very high. No way to lock in the back upright either. A slightly silly moment. As it turns out, a slightly silly moment. Next subject. As it turns out, the coupon doesn't take effect until Monday, and the beef price was higher than price rate anyway. So we left with some fancy stuffed baguette bread, garlic cheese, and whatever else, plus a couple of desserts, creme brulee and chocolate mousse. Back home, F made the soup and baked the bread. G cleaned the dishes. E floated around doing her own thing. Their mother called, and I decided to answer. She talked with E for a bit. Then she called back shortly after and asked if the kids were around. I went downstairs. She wanted to talk about Christmas presents and then holiday scheduling. I raised the holiday time swap issue, how I consistently lose time because Thursdays are always my days. Thanksgiving is always on Thursdays, so I always yield holiday time to her on Thursdays. She acted like that's just the way it is, even though it means I lose time every year. I also explained that Christmas wasn't well thought out during mediation. My family's Christmas ends at 1 o'clock, which is exactly when transfer happens. This means the kids would completely miss out on my family's gathering. I thanked her for being open to the discussion and told her the bread timer was going off. I need to go before it burns. Upstairs, the bread and beef barley soup were ready. We set the table and we ate. Everything was excellent. After dinner, we finished the second half of White Christmas. Then we had a small dance party in the living room. Each kid played their favorite Nathan Evans songs. E strummed her guitar. Really, it's a ukulele. We call it a guitar, and that's great. That's fine. We had chocolate mousse for dessert. Then we watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the one from 2000 with Jim Carrey. E had popcorn and eventually settled into a spot, laying on me. She stayed so still, so amazing, and so awesome. Of course, it felt great. And the entire movie, at least I think so, because I slept through most of it, we got up and then went to bed.